Tay-K's final court verdict recently left him in tears, and the internet can't stop talking about it. Some fans are confused, others are mad, and a lot of people are just now realizing how deep this whole situation really goes. And honestly, we have to talk about it.
All right, if the defendant could please stand. We, the jury, find the defendant, Tamar McIntyre, not guilty of the offense of capital murder.
So, after years of legal back and forth, a jury in Texas has finally reached a verdict for the second case of murder Tay-K was charged with, and he was found not guilty of capital murder, which would have meant life without parole or potentially the death penalty. But they still found him guilty of murder. Now, for most people, Tay-K has literally been behind bars since high school. But for those who don't know, Tay-K was first arrested all the way back in 2017. And honestly, his whole story feels like something straight out of a crime documentary. And just for context, it started with a 2016 home invasion in Mansfield, Texas. At the time, Tay-K was only 16, and according to prosecutors, he and a group of friends planned to rob a 21-year-old drug dealer named Ethan Walker. But during the robbery, things went left. Ethan ended up shot, and Tay-K was later arrested and charged with capital murder. Now, because of his age, some people thought he'd be tried as a juvenile, but that didn't happen. Tay-K was certified as an adult and eventually sentenced to 55 years in prison for his role in that crime, and that should have been the end of it. But no, it didn't, and this is where the whole story takes a turn. So while Take was on house arrest waiting for trial, Tay-K did something wild. He cut off his ankle monitor and ran away. Yeah, you heard that right, and y'all, if that wasn't wild enough, this man recorded a whole song called The Race while he was still on the run from the cops. Like, make it make sense. Anyway, that track blew up, went viral, hit the Billboard charts, and basically turned Tay-K into a household name overnight. He was literally rapping about fleeing the law while fleeing the law, and people ate it up. But here's the part that's not talked about enough. While Take was on the run, he and some of his friends got involved in another incident, this time in San Antonio. There, they allegedly lured a 23-year-old photographer named Mark Saldivar under the pretense of taking pictures for them. But instead of a photo shoot, things turned into a robbery. And during that robbery, the photographer was shot and killed. Now, did Tay-K pull the trigger? Number. But that didn't matter much in the eyes of the law, because in Texas, if you're involved in a crime and someone dies, whether you're the shooter or not, you can still be charged with murder or even capital murder. And that's exactly what happened. And now he's only been found him guilty of murder.
So it says, we, the jury, find the defendant, Tamar McIntyre, not guilty of the offense of capital murder as charged in the indictment. We, the jury, find the defendant, Tamar McIntyre, guilty of the lesser included offense of murder.
And that right there is what had Tay-K crying in court, because even though he avoided the harshest possible sentence, he's still looking at decades more behind bars. This new sentence will be added on top of the 55 years he's already serving. Basically, unless something crazy happens, Tay-K is going to spend most of, if not all of, his life in prison. Now let's talk about the internet reaction, because it's been all over the place. Some people are actually relieved Tay-K didn't get the death penalty or life without parole. But others, they're saying it really doesn't make a difference, because whether it's life or 75 years, he's still cooked, just on slow boil now. And honestly, those aren't even my words. That's straight from the comments section. I'm just the messenger. But I want to hear from y'all. Do you think this verdict was actually a win for Tay-K, or does it really make no difference in the long run? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit that follow button so you never miss out on more messy celebrity drama like this.
So imagine this. You open your home to someone you thought needed help, someone you felt sorry for, and then boom, that same person turns around and robs you blind. Like what? That's exactly what Tokyo Toni, aka Blac Chyna's mom, is claiming happened to her. And now she's in tears, down nearly $98,000. And social media is split. Some people are sending prayers while others are calling cap. Let's break it all down.
Yeah, she used a vacuum to bust the back window out. Knocked the whole out. Stole all my downstairs. Stole my jewelry box. Stole my safe. So far we had about at 98,000 that she took out of here. I'll fall back for a couple days, you know?
According to Tokyo Toni herself, she let a fan stay in her home. She said they were going through a tough time, and out of the kindness of her heart, she opened her door. But not long after, things took a dark turn. The same fan allegedly broke in and wiped her out, stealing valuables, leaving her with almost $98,000 in damages and stolen items. Now y'all know Tokyo Toni's not the type to hold back. She went live and aired everything out, talking about how violated and betrayed she felt. She was emotional, crying, heartbreaking, and honestly, it was heartbreaking to watch. But this is where things get messy. Some people online are not buying it. There's a whole wave of people accusing Tokyo of staging the whole thing. Yes, they're saying this might have been an insurance scam. Like, people really think she made the whole thing up for a check. One commenter said, "Now, why would you let a fan, out of all people, live with you?" And look, it's a valid question, because when it comes to your safety and your home, letting a complete stranger live with you, that's wild behavior, no matter how kind your heart is. Others are saying she probably did this to herself, that nobody stole anything, and she's just trying to pull a fast one on insurance. Now, we're not saying that's true, but this kind of talk is spreading fast, and you know how the internet gets when they start smelling drama. But let's be fair, not everybody is dragging her. A lot of people are saying, listen, her delivery might be rough, but you can tell Tokyo Toni actually has a good heart. She might cuss people out and keep it loud and unfiltered, but when you strip all that back, she's clearly someone who cares and tries to do right by people, sometimes to her own detriment. And that's exactly what this situation looks like. She wanted to help someone, and that person allegedly turned on her. If it's true, that's heartbreaking. And if it's not, well, that opens up a whole other conversation about manipulation, attention, and money moves. Let's not act like Tokyo Toni is new to controversy. Whether it's beefing with her daughter Blac Chyna, going off on live, or popping up in random interviews, she stays making noise. So when this whole robbery story hit, a lot of folks immediately side-eyed it just because of her past. Some even said she's crying wolf again and that it's all part of her usual antics. But at the same time, when someone says they've been violated like that, especially in their own home, it's hard not to feel some kind of empathy. That's a different level of betrayal. Tokyo might have had good intentions, but this situation is a reminder that not everyone you help has good intentions in return. Whether Tokyo Toni really got robbed by a fan or not, one thing's for sure, this whole situation has people talking. Also, don't forget to like this video and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the next celebrity bombshell. Because trust, there's always another one coming.